I'm joined today by Jason Payne, who's the founder and CEO of Ada Diamonds, which is a custom fine jeweler that works exclusively with lab-grown diamonds. Jason, diamonds are a topic I've been interested in for a very, very long time. I am hostile to the diamond industry in many ways for what I see as an immoral marketing decision to increase the market price of diamonds connected to very, very few families around the world, as you know. And I
hmm
am eagerly waiting for something to dislodge what I see as the artificially high price of diamonds. I would love for you to tell me that your lab-grown diamonds are going to be that thing, although I know that it's actually not quite so simple. So maybe let's start a little more broadly. Why lab-grown
Okay.
diamonds to begin with?
So what's misunderstood about the laboratory grown diamond industry is that the entire purpose of the industry is not to make what you think of as diamonds. It's not to make gemstones out of diamonds. It's to make high-end technological applications of diamond. So that's everything from surgical knives to water purification tools to semiconductors and even quantum computers. And so, what I'll argue is that an investment or a purchase of a piece of jewelry with laboratory grown diamonds is directly funding the research and development of all these fascinating applications of functional diamonds that will help people around the world for decades to come.
So is that kind of how the diamond industry is bifurcated, which is gemstone diamonds and then all other diamonds for sort of like non-jewelry applications?
Correct. Now,
Okay.
if you rewind decades or centuries, all of those diamonds were coming out of the earth, and there were industrial quality diamonds and there were gemstone quality diamonds. So the industrial ones were the small brownish diamonds that were used for cutting tools during World War II and beyond. And today there's really three categories of diamond. There's the industrial diamond, there's the functional diamonds, and there's the gemstone diamonds.
How do you grow a diamond in a lab?
It's one of the most arduous and difficult processes that humanity has ever harnessed. It takes an immense amount of pressure and heat and an incredibly high degree of precision to pressure cook carbon into diamond. So the best way that I can describe it is that we're taking graphite and heating it to about 1500 degrees Celsius and turning it into liquid carbon and pressurizing that carbon to over a million psi or 70,000 atmospheres worth of pressure. And at that high of temperature, as we cool it down from liquid back to a solid form, the solid form is my favorite form of carbon, a diamond. So
And
basically, we're
yeah, no, go ahead.
recreating I was going to say, merely we're recreating the conditions underneath the earth where carbon becomes diamond.
So, to the layperson, if you were to see a natural gemstone diamond that would be used in jewelry, and one of your lab grown diamonds whose purpose would be an industrial application, for example, would the layperson notice a difference between the two?
A, a layperson would not, frankly, nor would a gemologist. So, with all of the standard tools that a gemologist uses, there's no way to decipher the difference between a diamond whose origin is underneath the earth and a diamond whose origin is above the earth. Why? They're both a diamond, they're both crystals of carbon. So, one of the things we do with our clientele is that we've got two diamonds of very similar quality. One's a laboratory grown diamond, and one is a mined diamond. And we show the clients the two diamonds without telling them which is mined and which is laboratory grown. And the clients cannot tell the difference between the two.
That is fascinating. That is fascinating. Now, I'd love to maybe get your help now understanding a few sort of more general elements about this industry. And this is like
Sure.
I said, something of significant personal curiosity. You go and you buy a gem diamond, natural diamond, and it might cost $5,000, for example.
Yes.
You immediately go to the store next door and you say you would like to sell that diamond. And of course, as exists in any business that has overhead and is trading in the buying and selling of something, You will be offered only a fraction of that
Right.
$5,000. And then immediately the diamond you bought for 5,000 and maybe let go for 2,500 will be sold by the new buyer for $4,500 or maybe even the full 5,000. Is there any explanation for that other than that this is a very concerted effort to deal in incomplete information with the public? Or in other words, are there any actual economic reasons other than this, we have to make up for our overhead, why the value of one particular diamond would fluctuate so wildly within transactions?
There is an economic reason, and the reason for that is that diamond is a complete outlier compared to any other economic good, in the sense that it has the exact same utility today as it does 50 years from now. So, a refrigerator, a car, a radio that was purchased 50 years ago has little to no utility today, correct? Whereas a diamond, there's really no way to tell if it was mined a century ago or 10 days ago. And so it's an interesting phenomenon that the generations of diamonds that have been sold, the success of the Diamond is Forever campaign after World War II, those diamonds are now being reintroduced to the supply in a significant quantity, and that is having a dramatic effect on the price of diamonds. But really, to answer your question directly, it's that diamond is such an outlier in that it's forever, and so it has the same utility forever, regardless of when it was mined or grown.
How is that different? And I ask not rhetorically nor sarcastically, but how is that different from, for example, sapphire?
So it is not different from other gemstones, but it
Ah,
is different from other consumer products. So what I just said about diamonds, I think you could apply to most gemstones out there.
and then how about gold? What about gold? Because gold, although gold is gold, and sort of some of that same logic would apply, gold can take different forms. You can have gold as a backing for paper currency or not, and there's
Mhm.
sort of some variations. How might we conceptually think about the difference between diamond and gold?
Yeah, so gold is a fungible asset in the sense that you can melt it down, you can repurpose it, you can blend it with other metals like we do for making fine jewelry. You can purify it to 100% pure gold to make bullion. Diamonds are interesting in that each individual gemstone is an individual SKU. They have specific characteristics that are different stone to stone. And so there's a reason that gold has been a financial, I'll say financial instrument, but a unit of finance for many decades to centuries, whereas diamond really has never been viewed or utilized in that way. Something that we focus on is using recycled gold, recycled platinum in the jewelry that we create.
Hmm.
We pay a premium for metals that are refined here in the United States because of all the sort of negative environmental consequences or externalities that can be present in mining of fresh or new gold.
Let's talk a little bit about that, right? So, with regard to diamonds, there is this term conflict diamonds, conflict free diamonds. It seems to me, again, as a layperson, that one of the great benefits of a lab grown diamond, if not that it is going to be less expensive, which you've already pointed out that's not really the selling point of the lab grown diamond,
Correct.
is that you can definitively know that no little kid might have drowned or whatever it is that could happen having obtained a particular diamond. You can say that definitively. And from the research that I've done, even some of the diamonds that are sort of marketed as conflict free by retailers, they don't really know that they're basically going on somebody else's say so. Is that not a
Correct.
major opportunity of the lab grown diamond, which I know, you talk about industrial applications rather than gemstones? Is that not a big opportunity?
I think I think it's a wonderful feature of laboratory grown diamonds that I, as a retailer, can tell you not only where the diamond was grown, but quite literally who was the technician or the PhD who was running the diamond press that actually grew that stone.
Right.
So I think that transparency and that ability to get all the way back as far as possible in the supply chain is a huge selling point or feature of laboratory grown diamonds. I do want to clarify the Kimberley process is now well known by many of your viewers or readers, but that the Kimberley process is limited to one small aspect of the supply chain of diamonds, and that's ensuring that there are no civil wars or civil conflicts or insurgents that are funded by those diamonds. So today, as it stands, the Kimberley process does not cover other aspects of potential human suffering or misery in the supply chain of diamonds. It's only focused on insurgency, civil war, and conflict.
So, in other words, if I understand correctly, even a diamond, if correctly labeled as conflict free, tells you nothing about whether there are little kids involved in the mining or the working conditions. It's merely a sort of evaluation of the political circumstances around the mining.
Yes, that's correct. That being said, there are multiple efforts ongoing today to bring blockchain technology to diamond mining and to scan the diamonds as far upstream as possible, and then have the pedigree of the diamonds tracked all the way through cutting and basically going from the mine to market for mined diamonds. And that's something that I fully support and applaud, and hope that that is a successful utilization of blockchain to ensure that there are no conflict or problematic diamonds that end up in the supply chain going forward.
So we as humans are getting increasingly close to being able to harness the natural resources from celestial bodies. And I don't mean planets, but
Yes.
asteroids, for example. What happens, and I would love for you to tell me the truth about this because I'm so curious about it, and I have no reason to doubt that you will. Is the diamond industry scared of the day where we find an asteroid that has more diamonds on it than the entire supply of diamonds on Earth?
Uh, First, let me talk about the existence of what I'll call super terrestrial diamonds.
Yes.
Without a doubt, there are asteroids as well as planets in our solar system that likely have iceberg-sized diamonds floating in seas of carbon on those celestial bodies.
I love it.
So there are NASA scientists that believe Neptune and Uranus may have very large sized diamonds present on the surface of the planet. So, first off, I do think that is a very real possibility. And I do believe that the mining of asteroids is something that will be important for the continued growth of the human race. Frankly, I think the bigger concern for the diamond mining industry is diamonds running out on near the surface of the Earth versus a celestial body being a new source of diamonds. And what I mean by that is that since antiquity, the human race has pulled about 6 billion carats of diamonds out of the Earth. And I've pulled the public filings of the largest diamond mining companies in the world. There's about 1.4 billion carats of diamonds in reserve. And similar to peak oil, we're well past peak diamond, and it's really a matter of 20, 50 years before the known resources of diamonds on the surface of the Earth are depleted, and it's no longer viable to extract diamonds out of the Earth.
So what happens then, I guess, is the question, barring being able to harness these extraterrestrial diamonds, for lack of a better term. Does that drive the cost of diamonds up even further when it's basically you've got to buy a diamond from someone else because there's no new diamonds being found?
I think in the short to medium term, it's actually going to have the opposite effect, and that prices of diamonds are going to fall. And the reason for that is we have to go all the way back to World War II. So during World War II, there's a huge need for diamond grit for industrial war efforts. Both the Axis powers and the Allies really focused on finding and sourcing diamonds for their efforts. It was a key part of the industrial revolution that happened around World War II. So in the years immediately past World War II, you saw a fourfold increase in diamond mining, and that grew significantly in the decades to follow. And so what's happened is it's really baby boomers are the first generation of time where the majority of brides received a diamond for an engagement ring. And so for the first time, really in humanity, the generational passing of diamonds in a large capacity is starting to happen. And that will mean hundreds of millions of diamonds, of used diamonds, will be coming back on the market in the decades ahead. And that may even in some years outstrip the supply that comes out of the earth. And if that's to be the case, big increase in supply, not a huge increase in demand, will see the price of diamonds fall, in my opinion.
Absolutely fascinating. Jason Payne is the founder and CEO of Ada Diamonds. They work exclusively with lab grown diamonds. Jason, I really appreciate you talking to me.
It's a pleasure.